Okay, this is the last time I'm making this intro. You guys want to learn how to get better on controller when it comes to box fighting? I got tips and tricks right here that's gonna get you. It's gonna get you to be a god on here, okay? All seriousness, make sure you watch the whole video because these tips are going to be helpful for people that are starting out on controller, as well as more so maybe for the advanced players as well. You never know, you might learn something, so stick around. 92% of people that watch my YouTube videos are not subscribed to my channel, so if you guys want to hit that sub button for the one time, it would be greatly appreciated. The very first tip I got for you guys is to make sure that you play calm, cool, and collected whenever you're on controller. It's really important to keep this on both inputs, whether it's keyboard and mouse or controller, but the main thing is to note that whenever you're playing on controller, you can have a tendency to mash buttons and just kind of fat finger certain buttons. So whenever you're in a pressure situation, make sure you keep your head on tight and you don't get nervous and you try to stay calm in a box, because whenever you're trying to box fight someone, it's very important that you don't screw up your edits. So playing slower and more collected will definitely make you better at box fights. I can definitely speak from experience when I say that sometimes when I'm on controller, I might get a little nervous and forget my binds. You just have to remember that you know that you practice a lot and you know that you're good enough to compete with these other people. So whenever you're trying to box fight someone, just really keep in mind that you're trying to stay collected, and that will help you get better and cleaner with your edits and stuff like that. The next thing I want to talk about is wall replacing, and a lot of people on controller have a tendency to do wall replaces and then kind of put a stair inside the box. I personally recommend, especially on controller and more so mouse and keyboard as well, I think the new meta is to put a cone inside the box. This isn't something that's brand new, but a lot of people I know myself that still use stairs instead of cones. I think that cones are better off to be put inside the box because it just kind of confuses the person and literally makes them not be able to block shots. They can't really defend themselves at all. But whether with a stair, you kind of give them the chance to kind of go behind it or maybe break it if they do it quick enough. So I think that whenever you're on controller especially, just get used to putting cones instead of stairs. And me personally, after practicing on controller for a little bit, I think that it's a little easier to put cones instead of stairs. So I definitely recommend that one. Now I've noticed the more and more pro players that I watch on YouTube or Twitch, they put a lot more cones than they do stairs in box fights especially. Now there are times where you want a mongrel classic on someone and it would look clean, but I personally recommend about 90 maybe 80% of the time you want to put a cone. That way you can kind of get clean shots off. You can also work on putting a cone inside someone's box, and instead of going for a shot right away, you can maybe reset so you kind of deflect their shot and then go back into editing a window or a peanut butter shot and getting a hit on them that way. Sometimes putting a cone inside someone's box and going for a shot right after without resetting your wall is not necessarily the right move, because they're expecting you to edit because they know that you have that advantage and you think that you're going to be in control of the fight, when meanwhile they're already sitting there with their shotgun out. Now the two tips that I mentioned first before this one were kind of meant for both controller and keyboard, but I would like to say that it's more tailored toward controller. I do think that this tip right here is mostly for controller players due to the fact that we have SMG aim like crazy, although it has been nerfed recently to the point where the controller bloom is a little more spread out like mouse and keyboard, as well as the tracking is not as good from close range. I do think that this tip is very helpful for controller players, and not a lot of people take full advantage of this when they're on controller, and I noticed that they kind of shy away from it as well. So what I'm talking about here is whenever you're trying to box fight someone, there are usually times in the box fight where their wall might be one shot, it might be weak, you might be able to hit it once with a pickaxe, whatever the case may be, right? As a controller player, you have to wait and see those openings to where you can kind of jump in someone's box. Now I'm making this video before the new season, so I'm not sure if they're going to add traps back or not, but as we all know, traps have been gone from the game for a while now, and you can still just hop in someone's box without worrying about how much damage you're going to take. So with that being said, whenever you're trying to box fight someone and you're on controller with even an AR or an SMG, wait for weak points in players' walls. That way you can kind of force yourself in there and just SMG or AR spray them. Although the controller scene has gotten a nerf from up close, it's still, in my opinion, really good in box fights whenever you're trying to track people really close up. As long as your sensitivity is semi-decent, you'll be able to track a guy on controller when he's in your box really well still. Kids right here, kids right here.
32?
Just want to point out this rule that whenever you're on controller, tell yourself whenever you're in a real game that you're going to try to be really aware of your surroundings. That way you'll be able to see players before they see you, and that way you'll be able to get the first shot on them, because whenever you're trying to box fight someone at a disadvantage in health, it's going to be really hard for you to come back. It's very possible. People do it all the time. Even I do it. I'm sure you guys have done it. I'm not saying it's something that you can't do. I'm just saying that if you want to get consistent at box fighting in real games, make sure you try and tag the player up maybe once or twice before you actually go into that box fight. That way you'll have more confidence, and as well you'll be able to have a better advantage and probably get the kill, because you're going to take them off guard and you're going to be able to just pressure them like crazy. Alright, bet. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into real solos and I'm going to do those tips that I was talking about. Try and keep all the things that I was saying in mind as I'm playing these games. I'm going to try and put myself into situations where I'm doing a lot of box fighting to show you guys that these tips actually work. And also, as I'm fighting people in these games, I'm gonna be walking you guys through the thought process of how to approach people when you're trying to box fight them. Just a brief warning that I don't actually main controller. My main is keyboard and mouse, but I'm gonna use the tips like I was talking about to try and get better, because I definitely could get better. I don't claim to be the best controller player. I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get into another box fight right here and just land on the... Oh my god, there's no way I just did that, bro. See what we can make happen right here. So I knew that guy was kind of just ready to full send it by the way he was kind of playing. I knew that by cornering him, he would kind of come out of his box. So that's exactly what I did, and I got an easy kill. I also got the easiest scar and purple tack of my life, both from a chest. I'm going to kind of bait this guy because I hear him. Oh, he's right here. Oh, he definitely saw me. So what I'm going to do is just build up. I'm gonna let this guy kind of play aggro on me. I'm gonna just kind of bait him a little bit. Get the high ground that way. Right in his face. The best thing to do is just kind of unexpectedly get in people's face. Try and catch them when they have their map out, and that's the best way to get a kill. I could have edited that a little faster, but I'm not the best at editing on controller because I don't put as much practice on this as I should. But it is what it is. I don't know if you guys noticed right there, but you see how I was backing up while shooting him because I knew that he was going to run through that wall right there, or that floor. So I kind of play passive and back up and let him play aggro. Alright, now we just land on this guy. Whenever you're trying to box fight on controller, you just got to keep in mind that you really want to get in their face. Make them weak before you actually start approaching the box fight. That way, you'll have a way better advantage at actually winning. That might be easier said than done for some people, but that's the best way to go about approaching a box fight. So we're going to try and get a beam on him. Right here.
Stupid, I'm not going to let you get the...
Wow. We don't even need a box fight. Oh my god. Feels bad for that guy, man. Feels very bad for that guy. That was the craziest. I just one bullet 50 headshot at him. I'm so sorry.
Don't get in this box. He's gonna Tommy gun you. He's on controller, 100%. Oh, I forgot my teammate was on controller as well.
How you handle him. Right there, all I had to do was just wait for him to drop down that wall, and then he'd be stuck in a really awkward position, and that's all I did. And then I had a free kill because he was not expecting me to be there. And I got him with his map out, and that's the best way to kill someone. This is a real technique that a lot of players use, and what they do is they tap fire the wall to get it weak. From there, they wait for the player to take out something else, and once they see that, they shoot right away, and they get a free shot in like I did right here.
Teammates one. Super weak. Dead.
Here's another example of when I know this guy just reset an edit, so I knew it was gonna be one shot, so I went in there and sprayed. This guy, make sure he's triple dead.
Hitting 48.
I just want to inform you guys that I do live stream on Twitch if you want to discuss this topic any further, as well as I have a Discord with PC related questions and Fortnite related questions where you guys can ask me anything you like. This is my first time doing any sort of live content like this, so it's going to get better over time. Also, I'm sorry if these tips came out a little confusing. I really did try my best to help you guys understand them. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Everyone have a good night. Deuces. Peace.